All right, this weekend's story is called How Full is Your Bucket? Now, in our social emotional class and all my classes, we talk about being a bucket filler. We all have this invisible bucket on our head, and we want to make sure that we are filling up others' buckets, and we want to make sure that other people are filling up our bucket. And this kind of talks about that today. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. Felix scowled. "Go away. You're too little." "I'm big. Stay back. You'll knock it over. I can be very careful. Go play with your baby toys, Anna." Whack! "Grandpa!" Grandpa shook his head. "Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket?" Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. But the next morning when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. "I've got a meeting this morning. It's almost time to go. Anna, sit still." Felix slipped and Choco Weeks scattered across the floor. "Felix," yelled his mom, "you should have used the stool to reach that." Felix could feel his bucket tip and a big invisible drip spill out. Drip, drip. "Ha ha," Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip. "Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus," scolded Mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the Choco Wheats and grabbed his last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. "Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it." Drip. "Psst, Felix. Psst, psst. Drip, drip. Watch out, shrimp." Drip. His bucket is just dripping, dripping, dripping. All the negativity around him makes all the water drip, drip, drip out of his bucket. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. And you can see Felix is looking pretty sad. When our buckets are almost empty, we don't feel the best. We're grumpy, and we're tired, and we're angry, or we're sad. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's not nice. That's what it felt like when you have an empty bucket. His bucket's all the way empty, and he is not thinking good thoughts. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Miss Bumblenickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. "Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class?" Felix grinned and felt a big drop land in his bucket. Drop, 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 plink, plop, drop, drop. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped. Even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. So even though his morning started out rough and he felt like his bucket was empty, it only takes one kind thing to get that bucket start filling back up. Drop, 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 drop. Wow, nice cow. It's a dog. Well, nice colors, Felix. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. See, his friends are being kind, so his bucket's filling up and he's being kind. All around him is kindness now. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone had a bucket too. So when he got home, drop, drop, drop. Let me help you, Dad. Drop, drop, drop. Here's your baseball catch. Thanks, dude. Hi, I'm Felix. First day? Yes, I'm Amir. Drop, drop, drop. The strange thing was that for every drop he had helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. So when you're kind to other people, you're not just filling up their bucket, you're filling up your bucket too. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her. Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" So he's being kind, and he's filling not only his sister's bucket, but his bucket and Grandpa's bucket and the dog's bucket too. And so they did. So this weekend, as you listen to this story, and you can listen to it as many times as you want, I want you to imagine your whole family having that invisible bucket. And I want you to try your best to be kind, respectful, helpful, and see if you can fill not only your bucket, but everyone around you, because that's what we're working on next week. We're working on filling our friends and our own invisible buckets. Have a great weekend.